Ever wondered how Pimblett gets into shape so quickly before each fight? Well, look no further, as we will reveal all. During this video, you'll also read about his interaction with his neighbor over his dog's inconvenient pooping in their yard. How did Pimblett become so famous? It seems it just happened overnight. We all know he's a talented fighter, but is that the only reason? First up, the dog incident. Anyone with a pet dog understands how sometimes dogs pick the loveliest spot to do their business, and the occasion sometimes can take them to the lawn of your neighbor. This, for some, is a very unprepared moment. This is exactly what happened to Pimblett. Unfortunately, his dog needed to poop and did it on the neighbor's lawn. As it turns out, it was not a solid nugget, but a messy one. The interaction with the neighbor shows that Pimblett is a distant bloke who tried to resolve the situation. However, he did not have the right equipment to clean up the mess. He had a poo bag, but the state of the poo was not for the poop bag. So he rang his neighbor's doorbell. Luckily for us, it was a Ring doorbell and recorded the entire exchange. This led to an incredible moment between the two neighbors, which ended up on social media for the world to see. The neighbor was not home then and was happy to deal with it herself, but she recognized Pimblett, so she didn't mind doing it herself. Would she have responded the same way if it was an everyday person? This is a snapshot of what was said. "Hello, love. My dog's just had a sloppy outside, and I was just wondering if you've got some water. I don't want to leave it outside." The neighbor recognizes him and asks, "Is that Paddy the Baddy?" Then she says she will take care of it. Pimblett responded, "You sure? I feel terrible. He just had a proper sloppy and I can't even pick it up with a poo bag. You know what I mean?" The neighbor said, "Don't worry, I'll clean it when I get in." It ended with, "Thank you very much. Once again, I'm sorry about that. I hate doing stuff like that. That's why I knocked on." Next up, did you know that he is on a winning streak? On a side note, since Pimblett entered the UFC in 2021, he has quite a record of 3-0. His next fight will be against Jared Gordon and will be held in Las Vegas on December 10th. Moving on to how does Pimblett lose the weight between fights? Not only was Pimblett in the news for a dog incident, but he also made headlines for his weight transformation. It seems as though people had an issue with the way he was able to cut down before his next fight and his fights in general. However, he has a solid routine and meal plan to help him get into shape before his next fight and get into the best shape he can possibly be. As we mentioned, his next fight is against Jared Gordon on December 10th at T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas for round UFC 282. Before this fight, Pimblett shared insights into how he plans to lose weight. He, of course, has a YouTube channel and revealed his secret. He said, "There's no rocket science to it. It's not hard. Get yourself a calorie deficit. Why do you think I get so fat? Because I've got to go from eating 1,500 to 2,000 calories daily to eating 8,000 calories daily. That's why the weight piles on and comes off so easy." Next, does he lose weight all on his own? He has a friend in the nutrition business, Joel McCarthy. Joel is known as the macro chef. He regularly keeps Pimblett's diet in check before each fight. While discussing his weight in the video, Joel shows some of his favorite meals he likes to eat. These meals help him maintain his daily calorie intake, which is about 1,400 to 1,700 calories. Lucky for him, this regiment has been working. So far, he's on a winning streak and has won the first 3 fights of his UFC career, all by close finishes. However, his second round win in July was challenging for him to get the required weight. But in proper form, Pimblett bet the odds and managed to get to the specific weight he needed for his fight, despite what his critics were saying about him. And now, is his weight loss as easy as it sounds? It turns out no. He mentioned that his last training camp was challenging. "The day I returned from America, I had like 7 weeks to make weight. The UFC just announced that date, and I was like, I'm going to have to fight on it, aren't I? It's in the O2 Arena. I had 7 weeks to lose like 20 kilos, approximately 44 pounds, and I did it," he said. "Where I'm at now, I've got like 9 kilos, approximately 20 pounds, to lose. I've done more than that overnight. I've done 8.4 kilos overnight before. I can do 9 kilos in 4 weeks." Moving on to how does he stay motivated? He also referenced his friend Molly McCann, who lost in the UFC 281 to Aaron Blanchfield. This setback motivated him to put on a great show in his upcoming fight against Gordon. "I promise you now, Jared Gordon's getting finished in the first. Watch." And now we have, why does he have so many critics? There are many doubters about Pimblett and his weight loss journey, as he often has to lose a lot of weight before each fight. However, at the last weigh-in he did in July before his fight in London, he surprised everyone and got down to his targeted weight. Pimblett, also known as the Baddy, lost 152 pounds in his lightweight fight against Jordan Levitt. Once the weigh-in was finished, he promptly told the cameras, "For everyone that tried to fat shame me and said I miss weight or effing pull out, kiss my." At the same time, he slapped his butt. Between every fight, he tends to put on a lot of weight, so many questions his fitness because of it. As he has a social media presence, his weight change is noticeable, and that is unfortunately where the critics come in. Even though his weight fluctuates between fights, he has never missed a scheduled lightweight weigh-in. Moving on to what happened at the last fight. The tongue-in-cheek video could have also been a message to Levitt, as both would deliver a fascinating post-fight celebration. Instead, however, Levitt was going to do his twerk, whereas Pimblett was going to perform a teabag on Levitt, a famous taunt that has become well known in the online video circuit. After his win, the flamboyant fighter won a rear naked choke against Levitt. Unfortunately for Pimblett, he couldn't do the promised celebration because he had just discovered that a friend had just passed away earlier. This was just 5 hours before they had to weigh in, so he made a passionate plea to men to talk and not avoid just because they are men. He said, "Please, let's get rid of this stigma and men start talking." Next, why is Paddy the Baddy famous? In his country, he's well known as Paddy the Baddy. He's a professional MMA fighter and made it pro with 16 wins, 3 losses, and 0 draws. He is apparently also on the next generation MMA team. He has been dubbed the most upcoming, exciting fighter in the country. He likely has also become famous because of his social media content. It also doesn't hurt that there is more coverage of the sport than ever before. He was known for the Cage Warrior promotion, and now Baddy is a UFC fighter in the lightweight division. His nickname is the Baddy, and he's made himself very popular amongst young fans. His colorful personality, unique haircut, and brash swagger don't hurt either. He's an entertaining character, and the way he fights makes him a fan favorite. Since he joined the UFC, his rise to fame has been very quick, and he's become one of the most popular fighters in the tournament. He debuted in September 2021 and won his first 2 fights in the octagon. After that, he was known as a cage warrior and a champion in that sport. He competed at a 145-pound weight. And now, did you know that he's among the few Englishmen participating in the sport? Paddy has a legion of fans, more importantly, English fans. Fighters who represent their country tend to have fans from where they're from, because the more the country is underrepresented, the bigger the fan base, as they have no one else to follow. English fans are very loyal to those they follow. For Pimblett, it is no different. At the London event, Paddy had the biggest cheers from the crowd. He could very well become one of the most famous figures, given how strong his fan base has become. These loyal fans would more than likely follow him anywhere. Lastly, does Paddy make a lot of money for each fight? After his win against Kazula Varga in the first round at UFC London, Paddy was the biggest draw for the night. He made $4.5 million at the gate, one of the biggest in the venue's history at the O2 Arena. Thank you for watching the video about the Paddy Pimblett dog incident and the weight loss journey. We would love to hear your thoughts. Please leave a comment and remember to like and subscribe. Until next time.